Morning, y'all. Good morning. It's wonderful to see everyone.
So let's start to get into our meditative state. You can do this anywhere you want, in your home, outside. You can get yourself into a meditative state by slowly decreasing your breath, slowing it down, closing your eyes, and allowing your heart to open up. And that's what we're going to do right now. So everybody just close your eyes. So we're just slowing down right now from our day in the morning time, and we're going to relax into this. There's no magic pill or there's nothing magic to it. It's just getting into a meditative state that allows yourself to open up. And it's a practice. Continue to be aware of your breath, your inhalations and exhalations. We're in community together now as one. We are opening ourselves up to the divine, to our higher selves, the authentic self of who we are in this lifetime. And we breathe into it. We are becoming fully relaxed in who we are in this lifetime. We let our thoughts come in and then go without staying on them too long. See them come to you and see them pass you. During this morning meditation, we are focusing on Yeshua and Miriam of Magdal to come into our auric fields so that they may make themselves present to us. We ask that Yeshua come into our auric field now and be a part of us. Let him energize our chakras. Let him energize our being, our light body, so that we may be one with the universe, one with Source, one with God, one with Goddess. And we ask that he comes into our auric fields now. We're continuing to be aware of our breath. We ask that Miriam of Magdal come into our auric fields to be one with us, to be one with the divine, to energize our chakras, to energize our auric fields, to energize our light bodies, and to help balance the divine masculine and divine feminine at this time. We ask that Miriam of Magdal come into our auric fields now. And we continue to breathe. See both of them walking towards us, inviting us in to converse with them. And we are fully relaxed now. We surrender into who we are in this lifetime. We are fully relaxed. Our hearts are open, and we are one. Good. Everybody slowly open your eyes and stay in this relaxed state of consciousness. Very good. Good to see you again, Renee. How are you?
Good to see you too.
Good. I am Yeshua. It is an honor and privilege to be here amongst all of you.
Mm.
Stay where your heart is and continue to open it. Be of love and be of joy, be of grace, be of gratitude, all of the good qualities of who you are as human beings. No matter what is occurring on your world and in your world and around you, you can still maintain this sense of consciousness of who you are in this world. It's always inside of you. It never leaves you. It's always there. I am always here. Miriam is always here. You are always here. God is always here. The angels are here. All things are here. It is within you. But it takes a practice. It is a daily practice. Stay in community as well. We all help each other. We are here for each other. As above, so below. As within, so without.
So the question is, I was wondering how Yeshua and Magdalene work with other ascended masters like Saint Germain, and why it's sometimes hard to connect to spirit.
Okay, that's a two-part question, I believe.
Yeah.
How do we work with other energy forms? That is a difficult question in the sense that we must individuate, become individualized beings, as I'm doing at this very moment.
It's a frequency match.
But that's all it is, frequencies, frequent with like frequencies. Saint Germain is a frequency and a specific vibration. It is a soul. All energies work in unison in one way or another. It is not like working here on the planet where you're gathered around the table, talking and working together for the betterment of humanity. It does not work that way, but you can see it like that if you choose. The being that you refer to as Saint Germain works directly with us. It is a soul and an energy. It's always here present as well.
So what do you think happened with the election? We thought we were headed to a higher vibration, but the election results, at least for some of us, seem to be the opposite. Are the results a reflection of how most Americans feel?
I believe Miriam said a woman would be elected.
Well, I think she put the vibration,
Yes.
she focused on the vibration. So for those of you who are part of our membership, I think it was our last time that we met, this came up, and Magdalene came through and said, I see a woman in office. And it's just the interesting way she used the language, or the language that she chose to use, because she was seeing it as in visualizing it. And I took that to mean that it wasn't a prediction, it was what she had hoped. She had hoped to see a woman in office, because that's who she fights for, is the women's voice. But that is pushing a probability into the field, and she chose to choose nothing else.
That is correct.
That's kind of how it works, but it wasn't a prediction. And the way she chose her language was very interesting.
Your United States, is it ready for a woman to be president? It is. Remember, time is relative to where you are in this particular earth vibration. It's going to happen. It is inevitable. The feminine is rising. But remember, This is only one part of time, space. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. You see how it works. It's going to happen.
We're moving in the direction.
You are moving in the direction. And you are aware of the consciousness that is expanding. You wish to think that you are not in a high vibration of consciousness. But I can assure you, all of you, that your consciousness is much far, far greater reaching and expansive than it was just 500 years ago, 200 years ago,
50 years ago.
50 years ago. It is difficult sometimes to see a baby as it grows when you're with that baby every single day, but it happens and it goes by very quickly. Believe me, it is happening. Do not fear. Everything is fine. Continue on your paths. Stay in community with each other and help each other. This is why we are here, to continually help each other during this time. Remember, I do not see things good or bad. They simply are what they are. You decide on the perception of your own reality. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, so in other words, it's our perception that creates the suffering.
That is correct.
Right. And so if we focus on a perception that all will be okay and it's simply part of the process, it's just simply part of the process.
It is part of a process,
Yeah.
a part of.
There's something so much bigger than what we see in the moment. There's something that's so much bigger than beyond a result in one day, on one day or 1 year. Something so much bigger is at play, and we need to trust in the process. And as we go through this transition, we need to just focus on love and be the light. We've all been prepared for this time. I can assure you, we've all been prepared for this. And as energy, how do I put this? As energy starts to vibrate in a place of fear around us, regardless of who you voted for, because that's not what this is about. Regardless, there's still a feeling of divisiveness. No matter, what side, it's not really about the side. There's a feeling that people have that's divisiveness. And I think, and polarity, right? Polarity. People are losing friends over this. My sister who lives in upstate New York, has lost clients over this. And I think our job is just to be the light, right? To not kind of waver into a side, but just to be that light.
Show compassion and love always. That is the part of being human and being spirit at the same time. Bring it all into you. You understand, don't you, Gaia?
Yeah.
Good. There is love everywhere, even when the politics are different than yours.
Someone said I went through a huge life-changing event after an ayahuasca journey. Is it possible to help me understand what my body went through during that experience, or should I keep uncovering it as I'm doing now? Great question.
During medicine journeys, you're opening up your heart. You're opening up your auric fields. Your soul is literally telling you everything is okay. It is becoming enlivened and enlightened again. Your body, made up of all of the different chakras, all of the different streams of energy, begin to lighten up, begin to become
Connected
again. That is the physical aspect that you're feeling. Your consciousness is becoming evolved even more. It is becoming enlightened again and again and again. You've opened the door to your own soul, and you're letting your soul come through, and that is what you're feeling.
So it will be an unraveling.
It will be. If you desire to continue on that journey, don't be afraid. It is a beautiful thing that you are doing.
Mm.
Always have someone there that will assist you on these medicine journeys.
Yeah.
Professionals that know what they're doing to help
Yeah.
you.
Not someone who has been trained for a few months. Yeah. Make sure that you're with someone who really.
Medicine journeys are occurring more and more now. That is another opening and expansion of consciousness. So you see, everything will be okay. Very good.
Yeah. And remember, when we do journey, we have the intention. The intention is really important, right? That we're having that intention of staying in the light, staying connected to source at all times. And what we're doing in that journey is allowing our higher self to come through with the medicine, if you like, that it needs to expand.
Miriam comes now.
Okay.
It is always an honor to be here with all of you and to share your energies, to share your consciousness as it expands.
Sally says, I feel that part of my energy is Palladian, so am I feeling multidimensionality? Well, our multidimensional soul is having multidimensional experiences all at the same time. And so if you're feeling that, it's a thread, right? Imagine the soul as a trunk, a tree trunk, and all of the experiences are the branches, right? All of the multidimensional aspects of ourselves are all these branches going off the tree trunk. And so one of them from your soul may be Palladian. And so when it's coming forth, it means pay attention to me right now. That may shift and that may change in time, but right now it's saying pay attention to me as a way to open.
Yes, it is one path of an infinite amount of paths that you can choose to open your soul again.
So for somebody else, it might be Saint Germain or Mother Mary or Kuan Yin or, Mary Magdalene, right? Like for us, that divine Sophia energy, whatever it is for you, just tap into it. But just remember also that it could also be, it's an and, it's not an or. So you can focus on an energy to connect to that frequency and then get to know that energy before you move on. I mean, part of the thing that we see happening too is when you don't want the floodgates to open because then suddenly you can become untethered, right? So focus on one, get to know the energy, learn. Then you have discernment for when other energies come through, you're not overwhelmed.
Good. I am Miriam of Magdalene. It is good to see all of you again. Do not get down on yourselves if your political views were not manifested the way you wanted them to. That's not how it works. I will always say the woman is going to win because that is how I manifest. That is what I do. It is always about the woman, and I will always say a woman will win. She will rise. She will become. That's how it works. There's still work to be done, and there will always be work to be done. Don't feel sad. Don't become mad. Do not shut out people because of their political views. Continue on the course. Show them who you are, not who you are not.
Show them that you are love and light.
That is right. That is who we are as women. And I know there are men out there as well. Men, show them who you are. Balance the divine feminine and masculine within you. Show them. But don't hide away from them. Don't hide under the shadows or in the shadows or under a rock. Continue to be you and shine your light. That's what's most important during this time and every time.
Michelle has a question. Why do some deceased loved ones come through and connect with us, showing us signs soon after death, but others take much longer? Is there an adjustment period after death?
The energy of the soul really isn't deceased. It never dies. It's always the same. It just changes vibrations, and that's all it is. Some souls that when you have a perception that it passes away or it's deceased may decide to have an experience, and everything is an experience, may have an experience of coming back and being into this earth realm, but in a different way. Most often, family members of deceased will continue to hold on to that memory and onto their energies, which calls them forth little by little. It simply calls them forth because of grief and because of the mourning process.
Yeah.
After a while, the energies slowly dissipate. The mourning process slowly goes away, and so does the energy. It is no longer being attached or being called or evoked, if you will.
Yeah, when you're focusing on it all the time,
That's what's going to come to
it's
you.
bringing forth those energies, right? For healing. And so sometimes it shows up in myriad ways, but often they can, you probably all know this, right? They can communicate very easily through technology as a way to communicate. They can communicate through moving things around in the house.
Yes, they can.
Books appear in a certain place that weren't there before, suddenly, those kinds of things. Those are the easiest ways that they can communicate.
Now, there are energies of the deceased, as you call them, that stick around, they hang around because they can, and they do. Some energies are having, some spirits, energies, or souls are having experiences of playfulness, as you said, moving things around.
Yeah.
Some are having experiences of not being connected to source, not being connected to God. These are the spirits, the energies that you see as being evil.
So it's not so much that they take longer, it's that we take longer. Because we're always manifesting, right? And so when we're in pain, we're calling that forth for healing.
That is true. Well said, Gaia.
We're the ones who aren't letting go. Is sainthood more of an anointing that is a form of grace versus something that a person can earn through service and devotion?
Do all religions have saints?
No.
Why not? So, what is a saint? You see, there are no saints in this realm. You understand?
Yeah.
If there are saints, then I will say to all of you, you are saints. You are already devotional beings of trying to reach something greater than yourselves. You are all saints in my eyes. That is what I see in all of you. If you wish to make other people saints, you can do that if you want. Yes, it is true. It's a devotion to God, a devotion to Yeshua, a devotion to me, to Magdalene. But in truth, it's a devotion to you. You are devoting yourselves to something greater.
Pamela's asking, when fear shows up, what is that energy? What is happening with our focus that fear impacts the body in the moment so rapidly? Is that a habit of thought?
So what energy is fear? Okay.
Yeah.
Energy, fear.
Because it can happen so quickly, can't it?
Yes,
Right?
it can.
It happens so quickly.
It is often the opposite energy of love.
Mm.
Fear is often part of the ego. It's a way of keeping you where you are, here, and not expanding. Fear can be practiced. You can practice on letting go of fear through your meditation practices, through your exercises, by staying in community. But it is a practice. Oftentimes, human beings desire to stay in fear. That is their experience. But I can assure you, there's no need to be in fear. Simply be in love and practice that. Everything that comes to you, all of your bills, all of the experiences, your IRS, political systems, you can fear everything if you desire, but it's really not in your best interest. Practice not fearing. Practice bringing love to everything. And that is how you stay out of fear. Fear can be a habit. You can simply make it a habit if you want, but you can also make it a habit to stay in love, to not bring fear to all of these daily experiences that are coming to you. Try to bring happiness to them. This is why I say to all of you, stay in the present moment.
Yeah.
And be in the present moment of love and light.
Because think about the energy of fear. You can't have fear without an experience that gave you the perception of fear in the first place. So if you didn't have that experience of fear in the past, you wouldn't have fear of it in the present moment.
Renee, during your elections, which went on for months and months and months, there was the thing with the women's bodies, the right to abortion and the right to not have abortions, etc. So my question is, when does the soul enter the fetus?
This can either be positive or negative to you concerning your ideas of abortion. When the semen or sperm, when it penetrates the egg and it makes two from one, that is when. You've also seen it scientifically. There is light that occurs. That is the connection. That is the soul connection at that very moment. But remember, it is an experience for the soul to grow, to evolve into something that you refer to as humanness.
Or to assist those in the human realm.
Abortion is neither good nor bad. It simply is. It is an experience of a human being. You have to understand that. One day abortion will no longer exist. There will be no need for it. Other things will come along in your science. But at this time, that's what you have, and other medications as well. One more question. I see his hand is raised.
Yeah, Alan.
Yes, thank you. There are many instances that I have heard of, and I'm sure that you are aware of it. There's many other channelers, guides, whatever, that have come through and said that there are instances where the soul does not really, maybe the soul isn't the right word for it. Because if there is life, there's a spark of God there. Now, what that spark of God may actually be is another debate. But I have heard that there are instances where the conscious awareness of that aspect does not enter at a specific time. That sometimes it enters at the moment of birth, or, the actual 9-month period of birth. Sometimes it enters, any time before that period of time, because there's a conscious remembrance or awareness of being in the womb and being in the mother's stomach. There are other instances of remembrances of not until after that birth. So, what would be the difference between those various experiences and remembrances of the consciousness entering that person, and actually of consciousnesses or soul aspects switching? That one aspect was there intending to come through at that birth, and then decided that, hey, this is too much of an experience for me. And then another aspect of another soul or that same soul may step in. I know that's a lot, but.
Now, again, Alan, it only comes down to something simple: experiences. The soul can have any experience it desires. It can have an experience of seeing the spark of God as it is created. It can have an experience of being birthed. It can have an experience of being in the womb. It can have an experience at 1 year old. It can have experiences anytime it desires. It can have the experience of forgetting what it is. It can have an experience of something else coming into the womb, another soul sharing that experience. You see, it's all experiences, but there is no one way that is correct. There is no one way.
Well, so the one thing that I'll bring up in our humanness, right? Because there's a lot of trauma practitioners who are dealing with this very issue
Yes,
of bringing people into the womb through hypnosis, for example, to bring people back into the womb to heal any trauma that the soul might, or the perception of humanness might be feeling.
that is correct. And that too is okay. Because it is through the trauma and remembering the trauma that you're going to expand into something greater. You see, that's how it is.
So we choose our traumas in order to learn and expand and grow.
That is correct as well.
So if we're choosing our traumas, then maybe one of the choices is through abortion or through trauma in the womb.
That is correct as well. You see trauma as simply trauma, as bad things, but in truth, you give these traumas to yourself so that you can grow as a human being and expand as a spirit and as a soul. Again, there are no good traumas or bad traumas. They simply are what it is that you give to yourselves.
Yeah.
All experiences are divine. It will always be that way if you choose to experience it that way. Good. It is time for me to leave now.
Peg says, all things are a co-creation. We all have a relationship with each other and play roles for each human's growth.
That is correct as well.
Absolutely.
All things are co-creative.
Yeah.
Sometimes the soul will experience self as being more than one, especially in the womb. It is always good to be with all of you. Continue to stay on your paths and don't be afraid. Continue to open up and stay in the present moment. Your fears are nothing more than things that you have created for yourselves so that you can open up further. Do the work. That is why you're here, to experiencing yourself, to experience yourselves again as spirit.
Bula bula.
Bula bula.
All right. We love you all. We'll see you soon.